Alrighty, welcome everybody. It is Tuesday night and it's time to have some fun with an interactive card that we're going to be making tonight. So my name is Julie Brown. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my page, Julie's Creative Stamping. I'm so happy to have you guys here tonight. If you're new to following me or watching me, please make sure that you type in the comments. I do record these live on Facebook and then I upload them to my YouTube channel. So if you're watching me on YouTube, you can still put comments in. I'll see them later, but it's not live. Eventually I am going to be moving towards doing some live videos on YouTube as well. But if you are watching me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the little bell for notifications. So each time that I do upload a video, you will be notified that I am doing so. Also, please make sure that you type in a comment so that I know you're here. Also, if you have any questions, especially make sure you type those in so that I can answer any questions. Hey, Susie, I'm so glad you're on with us tonight. So let's just take care of some housekeeping really quick. So for those of you that are planning on placing orders with me this month, that is the hostess code for June. And you can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. If you don't already have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator and help you out there. Also, you can reach me at juliescreativestampin@gmail.com. And then both my Pinterest and Facebook pages are Julie's Creative Stamping. But most importantly is my blog. That is where sometimes when I make cards, like tonight, I'm going to be showing you guys extra cards at the end. And you want to make sure that you go to my blog because any cards that I don't do videos on, I post in my blog with instructions and card cuts and things that you would need to make those cards. So make sure you check that out at stampinjuliebrown.blogspot.com. Alrighty, so let's get started. So Stampin' Up! This annual catalog came out with what I call standalone dies, and I am absolutely in love with them because these are dies that you can use for any stamp set. And I just had a card class on this last week. Hey, Mel. Oh my gosh, did you have so much fun in Mexico? I saw all your pictures. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. But anyway, Stampin' Up! Has these standalone dies. And in my card class last week, we used the Give It a Whirl dies, and we had so much fun with that. And I will be posting a video on one of the cards that we did using that. But tonight we're going to be working with the Party Puffins, which I'm in love with. And it's probably because I don't know how many of you, my grandkids watched a show when they were younger called Puffin Rock. And so I got so into Puffins. It was a cartoon, but I learned a lot about Puffins. And so when I saw this stamp set, I was really excited. And tonight we're going to use these Picture This dies. Now I'm going to specifically be using this one tonight, but again, stay till the end because I am going to show you cards that I made with this one as well, with this same stamp set. So let's get started. Oh, Mel, I bet you did have a blast. You guys look like you were having so much fun. I just can't even imagine. Alrighty, so what do we need for this card? We're going to need a basic black card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. You are going to need a piece of Expressions in ink. This is the Designer Series paper. And this one is 4 by 5 3/8, which is an unusual size, but you'll see why I wanted this size in just a little bit. And then you're going to need a piece of Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4. Another piece of Basic Black that is 3 3/4 by 5. And this is just kind of a scrap paper, but it's about 4 by 4 1/4, 4 1/2. All right. So I did some stuff ahead of time just so that I wanted to spend most of the time on the interactive part. Oh, I'm so sorry. One of the most important things. You're going to need 4 basic black strips that are 1/2, a half by 4, I believe these are. Yes. Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to kind of put some pieces together and then we're going to talk about how I made the card. So Obviously, first on this scrap paper, I just stamped this puffin, the fish, and the birthday cake. Now, I used to color these, and I've already colored them and cut them out just for speediness. And so, yeah, look, magic. It's all done. And so I colored them in, and I used our Stampin' Blends, and here's the Stampin' Blends, which you will see me use in just a little bit. And I used Dark Poppy Parade and Dark Mint Macaron, Dark Daffodil Delight, Dark Crumb Cake, and then Dark Just Jade. All right, so those are all the ones that I used for this. Let me put these to the side. So basically, I stamped them, colored them, and then I fussy cut them out with paper snips. So, and they're not that hard to cut out. It goes actually pretty quick. And you guys know I hate cutting out. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay, so this is one of those cards that you kind of want to build the card front before you stick it on there. And so the first thing that we need to do is cut out our picture this die. So I'm going to pull that out. And like I said, I made other cards with this one, but that's not the one I'm showing tonight. And then I'm just going to stick this on here and bring in my die cutting machine, and we are going to run that through the die cut machine. All right. And so obviously I want this centered, and I'm looking at this from a really weird angle, so I am going to stand up and see if I can get it on there straight. And what's cool is when it cuts this out, we're going to be using the frame part of this, but it also is going to give us the cutout pieces that I'm going to show you that I actually used to make another card. And that's one of the things I really like about this set, is because when you cut this out, you're already ready to make 2 cards with it. So I'm going to be using the frame section for this card, and I'll bring it closer. I don't know if you guys can see, but it does have stitching around those frames. And then these pieces that cut out also have stitching around them. So we're going to be using these, or I'll show you what I did with these on another card. But save those because they can make some really cute cards as well. And the circle die that comes in this set, which is this one, does the same thing. And so again, if you're cutting it once, then you're kind of ready to make 2 cards, which kind of is a neat thing to have happen. All right, let me stick that back in there. Not that I would lose this die because it's kind of a big die. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually adhere this with liquid glue onto this Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper. Hey Shanine, hey Patty, hey Flora. Oh my gosh, I have so many people here tonight. I don't know what to do. Yay! I'm so happy you guys are all here tonight. I haven't had a lot of people on with me live, so I thought maybe everybody was getting a little bored with the cards I was making. And I'm sure it's just because people are busy, and I get it. But I'm so glad you guys are all here tonight. All right, so then we're just going to place this on here. And again, try to center it the best that you can. I wish you guys understood how hard this can be sometimes when you're filming, to not get my head in here while I'm trying to bend over and get it straight. So some of the ones that I make on here don't always turn out as straight as I would like them because I can't get a good angle at looking at them. Okay, so we just glued that into place. Then I'm going to bring in the Happy Birthday from this stamp set, and it's the Party Puffins for those of you that are coming in late. Oh, Pat, I'm so glad you're here tonight. We miss you. Wow, guys, I feel like we're kind of having a reunion tonight. How exciting. So I'm going to ink that up. And just so you guys know, when you first get stamps, sometimes they don't ink up real good the first time you get them. So it's always good to kind of just like ink them up, stamp them off, ink them up, stamp them off until you get a good covering on there. So I'm just going to take this and we are going to just stamp that in this center section right here. And sorry, I'm going to bring this down closer to me so I can try to get a little bit, so I can hopefully see and get this straight. Okay, yay! So it says happy birthday. So we're stamping it directly onto the designer series paper. Now, obviously, if you recreate this card with different designer series paper, you would want to make sure that you have paper that the black ink is going to show up well on. All right, so let's clean this. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is these little strips. These are going to be the mechanism for the interaction part of the card. And you need 2 of them so that they're sturdy. And then I'm going to glue some magnets here in just a second. And I want to do that. I wanted to do this part first because you do need to let those sit for just a little bit so that the glue can dry. And I'm going to be using our fine tip glue for that. Okay, so I just put adhesive and I basically just glued those 2 together. Not too hard. Now the magnets that I'm using, I actually got, and let me put this up just so you guys can see. So that's the size that you're going to see me using. They're the 5 by 1.5 millimeter, and they're the mini magnets, and I got them from Amazon. And these guys, they're really itty bitty. They're tiny, tiny, tiny. All right, so I've got this glued together. I didn't get that one as straight as I wanted to. Again, probably would have been good to use liquid glue. I'm just going to trim this end because it's not quite straight, because then I could have moved it a little bit. All right, so I'm going to bring in my fine tip glue, and then let me show you these magnets. They're so tiny. So this is the little case that they come in. Let me move this. Oh, maybe I can get this open. This is so hard to open. And see these little itty bitty magnets. There you go. And there's like 100 of them in here when you order them. And so I'm just gonna, and of course they all like to stick to each other. So one thing that I try to do with magnets is I try to look at how they're attaching to each other. And so like I'm gonna wanna glue this side because you know how magnets sometimes there's one end has a little bit more magnetism than the other end. And you definitely wanna make sure that you have the more magnetized side up. So let me bring you guys in a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to take my fine tip glue. This glue dries pretty fast, so it's kind of important that you move fast here. And then it's also important, which can be kind of problematic, is it has this little wire that's supposed to go down the middle of this glue to keep it, let me show you, to keep it from getting dried out. And so you want to make sure that you stick it back in there really good between gluings. So I've got my dot of glue, and then this side is not touching anything, so I'm going to separate these 2 because I want this side up because that was the side that was sticking really good to that one. And I'm just going to stick this on here and push it down. And then I'm going to set this to the side. Okay, so I'm going to do that again with this one. I just got glue on there. Okay, so we're going to, again, we're just going to take some of that fine tip glue. And this actually it actually hardens quicker than the Tombow glue. Sorry, I'm trying to get that little wire back in the middle of that. And it's very problematic when you have bifocals. Okay, got it in. Okay, again, I'm going to look at this little piece. I'm going to pull these apart if I can. They're pretty strong little magnets. And then I'm going to take that side that's attached, and I'm just going to, again, pop that down on there. All right, and then we're going to move this to the side to dry. Now I'm going to bring in my 2 puffins, and I'm going to do the same thing with them. I'm going to turn them over, and I'm going to put a magnet on the back of each of our little puffins. And I'm going to try to center it the best that I can. Sorry, trying to get that tip back on that fine tip glue. Okay, again, I'm going to be pulling these apart. Maybe. And then we're just going to drop one there. And I just kind of push it down until I see the glue coming out from behind it. And then we're going to put one right there. I'm getting a little bit of glue on my hand, so it's trying to attach itself to me. Okay. All right, and then I just put the rest of my magnets back in their little case. Whoops, there you go. All right, so now let's zoom it back. Oops, wrong way. I always go the wrong way. All righty. All right, so those are going to be set to the side to be drying. And I do kind of check them periodically, just kind of keep pushing down on those magnets just to make sure they're getting a good adhesive on them. Okay, so now what we're going to do is on the back of this, we're going to be applying some of our foam adhesive strips. Now, this is like just half of it, but these are our foam adhesive strips. But you have to be really careful how you do this because I need an opening right here and an opening right here for the that mechanism that I'm making to come through. And I get myself kind of mixed up sometimes, so I'm going to kind of just turn it over this way, and I'm going to kind of go around, kind of up and around, and then I always, like I said, I have to go back and forth because I do get myself mixed up a little bit when I'm doing this. So I'm just going to pull these off, and obviously I want one across the top. Now, this isn't a shaker card, so it's not as imperative that you like have everything attached because we use these a lot with shaker cards as well. And when you're doing shaker cards, you want to make sure that every end is touching. Okay, I have to keep. I think what I'm going to do, I don't know why I didn't think this the first time, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of, so like with my finger, I'm going to put a little dot here so I know not to close it there. And then again, I'm just going to kind of center my finger there and put a dot on the backs. Nope, that's the wrong side. It's this side. See, I did it already. Okay. The opening is going to be on this side. So basically what I'm saying is I'm kind of lining my thumb up so that it's centered. Then I'm going to turn it over and put a little dot so that I know where my strip's going to be. And this just helps me. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down, and I'm not going to need all of this. So I'm going to cut it about right there. And then same with over here. I'm going to kind of go over here, and you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. I'm fixing to bring in. So once I kind of start these, then I kind of bring this in and just kind of set this here. So I know like where it is I want these to be. And then I'm just going to kind of make some little, I call them gates, But it's kind of like guides, but you're not getting them that close to this. So, so I'm going to put a guide here. And as you notice, this moved. And it's not an exact science. Like, I haven't measured it to know exactly where to put this stuff. I just kind of eyeball it. And then I'm going to put this guide right there. So it's fairly close to it, but I'm leaving enough space that I can still work with this. All right, and then I'm just going to cut a couple more of these. And, oh, I haven't even done the bottom down here. So let's go across the bottom. And like I said, these foam strips are nice because you can kind of cut them and, whoops, and make things fit the way that you want them to fit. All right, so that's going to go there. And then let's do our little guides for the one on the bottom. This part that we're doing right here is what takes the longest on this card. Just getting all of your foam pieces in place. And so I need a piece here. I'm kind of all over the place tonight, huh? Hopefully you guys are following me okay with this. Once I get it all put together, it'll make more sense. All right, and then I'm going to need a strip here. Sorry, trying to get this to pull off. Sometimes the bottom tries to hold on, and I don't want the bottom to hold on. All right, so this one I can actually connect, but it's going to be a little bit too long, so I'm just going to... All right, so I think I'm good here, except I do want another little piece here. It's kind of important that you have it like not tight, but you don't want this piece when you'll see what I'm talking about when I start to show you how it all moves. You do want this over here to be fairly sturdy. So I'm cutting myself just a tiny little piece, maybe. To go right there, because that way then I just don't want this to have a lot of movement like up and down that way. So I may want to put another piece over here. So this is just kind of one of those things that as you're building it and you kind of are moving this, you start to see, oh wait, there's a little bit more movement than I want it to have. And of course it's going to make a lot more sense when you see the card work, what I'm talking about. But so bear with me on all of this. Yep, that's going to need to be a little bit smaller. Again, that's why I like these foam pieces, because I can kind of make them the size that I need them to make them. Okay, so now I have what I need here because I've made my little, I guess you can call this a canal. And you know what? I think I am going to put a little piece right there. If I'd have been smart, I would have drawn myself a little diagram on the back of this so that I had that close. There we go. I just don't want it to do a lot of moving when I start to get this put together. Okay, so I'm going to move those out of the way, and so this is kind of what you have. And so you have an opening here, and you have an opening here, and that's what these are going to go into. All right. Now I just got to make sure I get it. Well, because I stamped the happy birthday, it helps me do it correctly. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my card base. And then I'm going to start to peel this. And the best way that I have found to do this is to just, so you're going to start, and it would have been better, of course, if I had just one piece. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of fold it so that I have pieces out here. So on each of these pieces, I'm going to go about halfway, and then I'm going to fold them to the outside. Now, obviously, I can't do that to the inside pieces, but I can to all of these outside pieces. And I'll show you why I'm doing this in just a second. It actually helps when you're trying to get all of this placed and laid down. So let me go ahead and just grab all of those center pieces off. Like I said, this is going to be a pretty quick card besides doing all of this stuff. And there wasn't like a lot of coloring, just kind of the beaks and the feet and the hats. So I mean, there wasn't like an overabundance of coloring. Okay, so again, I'm going to take this piece and fold that. Now, because I put a little tiny piece here, I'm just going to pull that off. And same with this one here. But then here on the bottom, again, I'm going to take it and fold it. And take it and fold it. So you can see if I had just had these as full strips, this would have been a little bit easier. Okay, so now it kind of looks like this when I turn it around. But the cool thing is that now I can get this placed where I want it. And it is going to stick a little bit. But this is just a little bit easier to get this in position. I'm going to stand up. Sorry, I can't see very well. I think I've got that fairly straight. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like pull these off. And now it's all the sticky will go into, it helped me because it was kind of holding it up while I was trying to get it positioned. But then I can just pull all those pieces out. Cool trick, huh? And now it's all where it's supposed to be. Okay, so there's what it looks like. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use a couple of these pieces that I made. So I'm going to take the little cake. This is the cake that I stamped and colored. And I'm just going to use some liquid glue on this, and I'm just going to put it down here at the bottom over here. I hope that made sense to you guys. All right, and then that's going to sit like so. And then it's got this cute little fish with a bow on it because, you know, puffins love to eat fish, so perfect gift. Perfect gift for a puffin. Oh, Patty, I'm glad you like that little tidbit on the foam adhesive. That's just it helps me to get it placed down. And then just kind of pull those pieces out. Like I said, if I'd have put full pieces, it would have been a little bit easier. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is on the ends of these two black strips, I'm going to take a white gel pen, or you could use the, I know Stampin' Up! Has a white chalk marker, which I have somewhere, but I couldn't find it to use. And so I'm just going to draw a little arrow on the end of these. And that's just going to help whoever you give this card to. It might, you know, give them a little signal that, hey, you might need to do something with this, right? So just in case you can't see that, I just drew a little arrow. All right, let me get my hand there. I always forget I got to get my hand behind it so you guys can see. Okay, so then what we're going to do is, so we're going to take one of these. And so can you see the opening right there? So we're just going to stick it with the magnet facing up. So here's my magnet. And it's going to stick into this little section right here. And it does stick out a little farther than the card, but I did test it. It does still fit in the envelope. And then this one, again, it has that opening that I did, and it's going to go right here. So now you can see, let me get it a little bit closer. So see how you can see the two arrows sticking out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this little puffin that has the magnet, and we're going to, this is the hardest part. Oh, I may not have gotten the magnet on the right side. This is what I was trying. Oh, there we go. So you want it to actually like take a hold. This is the hardest part, is making sure that you got the magnets. I may not have got them on the right side, so let's see if it'll attach to this one. So you have to kind of move this. Okay, so that one grabbed really good. This magnet is being problematic, so I may have put it on backwards. But anyway, so then we've got that. Before I start to show you how everything moves, I also brought in some holiday rhinestones. Here we go. Oh, let me bring that out. Oh, sorry, wrong way. And I'm going to take some of these in here that are like the yellow ones. I'm going to bring in my take-a-pick tool. Okay, what's happening? I'm losing my... Okay, hold on. Something moved here. See if I can get that. There we go. Sorry about that. I must have hit that. Okay. So I'm just going to pick up some of these jewels, and I'm just going to put like 3 up here in this section. By that puffin, I'm going to put just 1 next to the happy birthday, and then I'm going to put 3 down here in this other window section. All right, so I'm gonna let this dry a little bit because one of these magnets was still being a problem. So while we're letting that dry, and then I'll show you how fun this is when it moves, we're gonna bring this in and we're going to do the inside of the card. So for the inside of the card, I used one of the other sentiments that says, "To someone who makes others happy." What is going on with my... Sorry, guys. Let me try to tighten this so that it works. It's like my whole thing is like tilting down. Okay. Think we're good. Think you guys can see now. I'm like, what just happened? Everything shifted. Okay, so it says, "To someone who makes me happy." So again, I line it up on my graph paper, bringing in that black memento ink. The other thing I like about this set is it doesn't take a lot of different colors of ink. I did use a couple different colors of Stampin' Blends, but it's still, this is definitely one of those stamp sets that it takes very little product to make some cute cards. All right. Then in this corner down here, I'm going to stamp this is the other puffin that's in the set. And I want these guys to be pretty black, so I ink it up pretty heavily. Oh, and then it has this other stamp set that is these candles. So again, I'm going to ink that up pretty good. Stamp it right there next to the sentiment. Again, I'm basically using, and you know, if you guys don't have Stampin' Blends, but you have markers, then you can do the same thing with the markers as, you know, coloring in the puffins. But like I said, if you have black memento ink, you're going to be able to do most of the cards that you've seen me, that I will show you tonight. Okay, and this is how easy it was to color. So I just came in with the Poppy Parade and colored his beak and his feet, and that's what I did on the ones that were on the front as well. So there's that. And then I'm going to put some of this on the candles up here while I've got it out. All right, so there's that. Let me try to bring you guys in a little closer so you can see. I'm using a different camera tonight. I'm using a different phone for a camera, so that might be part of the reason I'm having some issues tonight. All right, and then I'm going to bring in the Daffodil Delight because this is the color Puffin's beaks are. And then I'm also going to use it for the end of the candles. And then I'm going to bring in the Just Jade for the candles. Now I told you I had mint macaron, and that was what I used for the fish when I colored the fish that's on the front. All right. So see how quickly that was to color? It wasn't hard at all. So there's the candles, and there's the little puffin. All right. So this is going to go on the inside of the card. Whoops. All right. So this is going to go on the inside of the card like so. All right, and so here's the front of our card. Let me bring you guys out. Hopefully I can do this. Yeah, I did it the right way that time. Woohoo! I get so excited when I do it the right way. All right, so here's the interactive part, okay, is you're gonna, hey Janet, you're gonna take it and it's gonna move. Like I said, I'm gonna redo this magnet because that magnet's not very strong. But it catches it and it moves your little puffin back and forth. Now this is the one that I really like because it's like he's going forward to blow out the candles. And so these little strips make them move. Isn't that fun? And like I said, you've just got to get them connected to that, to the back of that. That's why I said when you're doing those magnets, because I'm pretty sure this one, it's not really like trying to attach to that one, it's trying to push it off. So I'll redo this one. So there's that one. But let me show you the first card I did because I was really good at, this one works really good. So this is the first one where I got the magnets the right way, but see how it just pulls it? How cute is that? And then here's the bottom one, and it just pulls them forward. So this is what, like, I can feel like when I'm trying to pull this, these two magnets are really holding on to each other. So I must have gotten those other magnets a little bit backwards. I should have tested them. But anyway, isn't that cute? Such a fun card. Okay, so now I want to show you. So this was the interactive card. And remember I told you it cut out these pieces here. And so I want to show you, this is the card I made with those pieces. So I have the little puffin kind of sticking out from beneath, and I did this with white embossing powder, and this is popped up. And so I have the puffin just kind of looking out from behind, but these pieces came from this. And so I was able to do two cards. And then here's the inside of that one that says happy birthday, right? And so these are those dies I was telling you guys about. The picture perfect dies. Now this first card I did with this one. So now let me show you what happened when I used this one. So this is the card that I made with the other die, and this is that ombre specialty paper. Isn't that beautiful? So again, I just set this down, drew some circles, and then I stamped and colored these guys in. And this one says, from all of us, happy birthday. And so when you cut this one out, you get all these fun little balls. And so this is the card that I made with the little balls. And so I have the little puffin like he's kicking the ball or playing with the ball, and it just says, you're the best and thank you on the inside. Okay, so how cool are these dies, guys? So see how I was able to make one cut. I cut this one out, made these two cards, cut this one out here, and made these two cards. So it's a really cool, like I said, I love these dies, and just think about all of the other cards or stamp sets that you have that you could do similar things with. These could have been flowers. These could have been anything. So I just want to point that out to you. Let me see if I can get this to go out a little more. Whoops, it's going the wrong way. Okay. So anyway, what do you guys think? So see how easy these cards are? Like I said, these are the two that I cut out the dies, and then these were the other pieces from the dies that I was able to make those cards with. So this is the stamp set, the Party Puffins, and then this was the die set that I used. The Picture This dies. So fun cards, huh? I had so much fun with this. Yes, right, Mel. Hey Chick would be really cute with this. But, you know, what I'm trying to point out to you guys is, you know, when you cut this out, then you have a whole other card ready to go based on the papers and stuff that you're using. So don't ever, you know, don't forget that. Don't forget to do that. But anyway, so yeah, so here's my interaction. He's going to go blow out the candles. And then this one's going to go try and get that fish. So this was the card I really wanted to show you guys tonight. Like I said, the one that I did for you guys tonight, the bottom one's working fine, but I don't know if you can see this, but this one is basically, it's almost being pushed up because I didn't get the magnet on the positive or negative side, however that works. So it's not grabbing it as good. Yes, Janine, I did fussy cut out the puffins. So basically I stamped them like this, and then I colored everything in, and then I fussy cut them out. It was really quick. It didn't take that long to fussy cut those out. Okay, so this is the dies. It's Picture This dies. You can find them in the annual catalog on page 164. This is not a bundle, but I just wanted to show you how you can use these dies and make some really cute cards. Okay, and then the Party Puffins you can find in the annual catalog on page 67. So those you can find too. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tonight. I had so much fun making these cards. And then, like I said, using the stuff that cut out of the dies to make double cards. So it was really easy. I made this one, then this one, this one, then this one. Now these are not interactive, but this is the interactive one. So I'm going to have to adjust this just a bit because I'm going to try to talk to you guys, and that phone is like hanging in my face. I don't know why it's doing this. It's like I said, I've got a new stand and everything. So let me get that out of the way. There we go. Now I can see you guys. So I hope you enjoyed those tonight. I had a fun time making them. And so if you guys have any questions, let me know. As always, I appreciate all of you being here. It was so much fun to have so many of you on tonight. Don't forget to follow me here, also on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell so that you're notified anytime I add things on YouTube. I am going to start doing some that are specifically to my YouTube channel that I may not post here. So you guys might want to just make sure you're following me there too so that you see them. And so like for tonight, for instance, I demonstrated the interactive card, but there was 3 other cards. So if you go to my blog for that, which is stampandjuliebrown.blogspot.com, you guys will be able to see all of the instructions for those. Not always right away. It takes me a while to do these because I usually make about, 5 to 15 cards a week that I'm trying to get up on my blog. So just keep watching. And again, you go to my blog, you put your email under the follow me, and it'll let you know anytime I'm putting them in. So I hope you guys liked these. I love them. This is one of my favorite stamp sets. Standalone, I call it a standalone stamp set because it doesn't come with dies or punches. But you can see how you can still use these and use these standalone stamp sets and then get some of these standalone dies And for those of you that were at my class on this last week, think about using this set with the Give a Whirl and making these little puffins be the ones that are going around on the spinner. That would be so cute as well. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Susie, you like the black and white version better? Yeah, yeah. You know, it just depends. I mean, you guys know orange is not like my favorite color, but again, it is something that I work with. So I'm going to give you guys one last look at all of those cards. There you go. And again, I appreciate everybody being here, and I hope you enjoyed what I showed you guys tonight. Everybody have a good rest of your evening, a good rest of the week. And again, make sure you subscribe to everything so that when I do post things, that you'll know that I'm posting. And everybody have a great night. If you have any questions, just contact me. So, hold on. I guess I should be looking at you when I say goodbye. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate your time. And it's so much fun to see you guys here and answer questions and having you guys comment. So everybody have a good night, and we'll be back next Tuesday for some more fun cards. Talk to you soon. Bye.